Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and today I've got a real treat for you. Today we are going to be unboxing and inspecting the GMMK Pro 75% bare bones mechanical keyboard kit from Glorious PC. The GMMK Pro, or Glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard Pro, is a very hot item right now. With good reason. It is intended to be an enthusiast-grade keyboard kit at a mainstream price point. So it includes all kinds of mechanical keyboard enthusiast buzzwords like an all-aluminum case, hot swap PCB, open source QMK support, kind of exploded 75% layout, a rotary encoder, which is a fancy way of saying a dial, basically, and gasket mounting to make sure that your keystrokes are dampened and to improve the typing feel and sound. These are all premium features that you don't often find on keyboard kits at this price point. So Glorious PC is really trying to bring this kind of premium experience to a wider audience. So I went ahead and ordered a GMMK Pro, as well as a bunch of different accessories. Glorious is happy to sell you a ton of accessories. I picked up a couple of different plates, like a brass plate and a polycarbonate plate, so that we can see how they look and hear how they sound, how that changes the typing sound and feel. I ordered a bunch of their Glorious Panda highly tactile switches, which they claim are the best switches in the world. We'll see about that. I got a set of PBT Keycaps, which I think looks really sharp, but we'll be putting that on as well. And a few other accessories that are kind of fun. Well, you'll see later in the video, but we're going to be looking at all that today. We're going to be unboxing and inspecting all these things so you can see what they're like, the kind of quality that you get from Glorious. I'm very keen to check this out because this is my first foray into any products from Glorious PC Gaming Race, the company. I had originally intended for this to all be one video where I unbox and build the keyboard in one video, but turns out that was a bit overly ambitious. So instead, this is going to be split into two pieces. In this first part, I'm going to be doing the unboxing, the inspecting, and the product showcase. And in the second part, I'll put all these parts together into a beautiful keyboard that is delightful for both my fingers, hopefully, and your ears as well. But it's not just the fingers and the ears that are important, of course. What if you want something beautiful and delightful for your butt? Like this awesome gaming chair from this video's sponsor, EWin Racing. EWin Racing offers all kinds of different gaming chairs to match your aesthetic and your budget. They recently reached out to me and asked if I'd like to check out one of their Champion Series gaming chairs and share my opinions on it with you guys. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. The Champion Series chairs retail for about $300 US before discounts. They come in a variety of colors, but I got this blacked out one because I'm edgy like that, and black goes with everything. The chair arrived quickly and neatly packed in a reasonably sized box. It wasn't outrageously heavy or large, but I'd recommend having two people to move it if possible. Once I got it open, assembly was super easy. Everything you need is included in the box and clearly labeled, including a pair of white gloves, which made me feel very fancy indeed while I built it. It took me about 30 minutes to put it together all by myself, and when it was done, I had a pretty sweet looking chair. I've been using it for over a week now, and I'm happy to report that not only does it look good, but it's very solidly built to tight tolerances as well. There were no misaligned screw holes or anything, and the finished chair feels solid and weighty, but still rolls easily on its 5 rubberized casters, at least on my hardwood floors. I didn't get to test it out on carpet, but I imagine it would work fine on carpet as well. The frame is made of steel, and the base is cast aluminum. The high-density memory foam cushions offer ample support and are covered in polyurethane leather, which feels nice and is very easy to keep clean. The EWin Champion series is adjustable in all the ways that you've come to expect from these sorts of racing-style gaming chairs, and features height adjustment that supports up to 330 pounds, tilt with tilt lock and tension control, back angle adjustment up to 155 degrees, just in case you want to literally lay down at your desk, an adjustable and removable lumbar support pillow, and an adjustable and removable neck pillow, and 4-way adjustable arms that move up and down, front to back, side to side, and rotate. The range of adjustment for all these features feels good. And in addition to the features that you'd expect from a chair at this price point, the EWin Champion series has some nice little bonus features and good attention to detail, such as pillows that are super easy to unclip if you don't like them, ambidextrous height adjustment levers that you can use with either hand, and a glossy black finish on its 5-star aluminum base, which really complements the blacked out aesthetic. It really looks nice. To top it all off, the frame is warranted for an impressive 10 years, while the mechanisms and the pillows are covered for 2 years. Overall, I've really enjoyed my time with the EWin Racing Champion Series gaming chair so far. It's easy to assemble, it's well made, it looks great, and it's super comfortable. It has features that meet or exceed those of similarly priced gaming chairs, and I have no reservations recommending it if you're looking to upgrade your gaming or streaming or home office setup with something delightful for your eyes and your posterior. And if you want to save some money and support my channel just like this chair supports your backside, you can click through on the affiliate link at the top of the video description and use offer code the ASMR Nerd at checkout to save 20% off your purchase of an EWin gaming chair. I'll thank you, your wallet will thank you, and your butt will thank you. So go check it out. And here's the GMMK Pro in its box, and it's got a really nice box, actually. This is a product that is sold, as far as I know, exclusively online, and yet it definitely looks like it could be a retail product on a shelf, in a brick and mortar store. It's eye-catching, it's unique, or not, it's identifiable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You'll see that this color scheme and sort of graphic treatment with the black and these lines, and then the silver foil stenciled kind of image, and then the orange accents are repeated throughout. all this stuff that we're going to look at here. So Glorious clearly has some graphic designers on staff, and they've done a good job presenting attractive, identifiable packaging here, I would say. Anyway, we've got the little Glorious logo up here in the top left, which is that basically me. I mean, right? That's basically me. I think they probably modeled their logo after me, with the the flowing hair and the beard and all that. This is the US ANSI layout version. I suppose there must be an ISO version as well for Europe, but I'm not positive. I would bet that there is, however. And this is, of course, a barebones kit. As far as I know, this is the only way they sell these things, is barebones kits, at least as of right now. But, of course, once you order the barebones kit and your order comes up in their queue, because there's a bit of a wait list, once your order comes up in their queue, then you have the option to buy a whole bunch of other stuff, which will come separate, and then you can assemble it yourself, and that's exactly what I've done here, and we'll be looking at today. But yeah, this is what the layout of the GMMK Pro looks like. So it's got this mid-profile case. I wouldn't call it super high profile, but a mid-profile case. So the switches sit down, like recessed into the case a little bit. So that's what this black kind of area is about. And these are all the hot swap sockets. You can see just from the stencil images here that their hot swap sockets have 3-pin support with the central guide post and then the 2 contact pins, but also 5-pin support with the additional 2 holes on either side. So if you get 5-pin switches, you don't have to go around clipping a bunch of them or all of them to get them to fit. So that's good. We've got stabilizers evident on here. This layout overall, they call it here, if you look closely, a premium compact TKL, standing for 10 keyless. And it is that. It is 10 keyless. We don't have a numpad over on the right hand side, but usually when you hear TKL, that means the standard 10 keyless layout, which has the full nav cluster and the arrow keys over here and the regular sized right shift and bottom row. This is not that. This is a somewhat non-standard layout. It's much closer to a traditional 75% layout. That's what this is like. So it's actually kind of an exploded 75% at that. So we've got the exploded part, I should say, is this over here, right? So we have a somewhat separated arrow cluster and then a column of 4 nav cluster keys, and they're separated away from the main board. We've also got a rotary encoder knob, which you can use for whatever, volume or scrolling or adjusting lighting effects, whatever, probably. And then we've got the F row up here, also separated away from the main alphanumeric and modifier keys here. And as a result, you do have some weird requirements for keycaps. For example, we have our typical 1.25U modifier bottom row here, but we've got 1U keys over here. So we've got a shortened right shift, and the profile on some of these nav cluster keys here on the right is going to be a little weird because there's not normally a nav cluster key sitting in row 2 here. So anyway, so keycap compatibility I don't think is going to be excellent, but Glorious will happily sell you a set of keycaps that will fit this layout without any issue, and I've got one of those here, which we'll be taking a look at later, but it's their GPBT Rain Forest kit. So yeah, it says down here, premium compact TKL gasket mounted. So that's to do with the way the plate is mounted in the board, and it's supposed to provide a more dampened typing experience that feels and sounds better. And it's modular. That's the GMMK part. Glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard Pro. That's what that stands for. And I got this in the black slate color. It's available in kind of a white-ish color and a black-ish color. It's got a bunch of features listed here. GMMK Pro, once again, it's very nice graphic design. Gasket mounted, fully modular, CNC aluminum body, 83 key compact TKL layout, US ANSI layout, rotary encoder, that's the dial, the knob, RGB LED back and side lighting as well. It's kind of got everything you might want in that regard. This end, we've got some branding, which honestly I've always found Glorious's branding to be a little bit cringy, you know. But anyway, it says Ascend over here. Ascend to the glorious PC gaming race, I guess, which the glorious racial connotations always makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. But anyway, I wonder if one day they'll just rebrand to just Glorious. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But it does say here glorious PC gaming race, so they're still branding with that. And GMMK Pro down here, and our beardly gentleman, who I think actually was originally modeled after Gabe Newell, I'm pretty sure. Supposed to be a stylized picture of Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, you know, who owns Steam and all that. Has published, developed games in past, like the Half-Life games and Team Fortress and all that stuff. Okay, I find it weird that I have to explain who Valve is and that they used to make games, but I know that, you know, I have some younger viewers on here who may not know Valve as really anybody but the Steam people, you know, because they've not put out, what was it, Portal 2 was maybe their last major, well, I guess they put out Half-Life Alyx last year, so the drought has ended, sort of. Anyway, that's not on topic. What is on topic is all the stuff on the back here. So I'm not going to read through this entire thing here. It does acknowledge that this is a 75% layout here. Ultra premium, gasket mounted. I think a lot of enthusiasts would take issue with the ultra premium label, but premium, definitely premium, I think. 1.6 kilograms, so a nice weight to it, 3.5 pounds. It's got a 6-degree typing angle there, which appears to be fixed because there's no feet that flip out or anything. You can't adjust the typing angle. Gasket mounted design construction, aluminum body, pre-lubed, glorious goat stabilizers. Their goat stabilizers stand for greatest of all time. And I've heard varying things about these stabilizers, but generally people seem to think that they're okay. They're not great. They're not awful. They're okay. Maybe not the greatest of all time. We'll find out. But it is nice that they're pre-lubed. That means we don't have to go through the process of lubing them ourselves. So that's great. Blood swap switches, removable keycaps, obviously, removable cable, USB Type-C 2.0, N key rollover, RGB backlighting, all that good stuff, and compatible with GMMK, which is the open source firmware that you've seen a couple times on this channel. I've used it to configure boards from Drop and their control, their shift, and also the Prionic keyboard. So QMK is really nice to have that flexibility. Now I have heard that the QMK support on this board is kind of half-assed, and you've got to use, even though well, I don't know. I'm not gonna. We'll see. I guess I'll find out. But I've heard that the support's not that great, and also that later in 2021, some of the GMMK Pros that they're shipping out might ship without QMK support at all because of the ongoing microprocessor shortage. The controller chip on these boards, they've had to find a new supplier for, and presumably it's a different model, so they're going to have to roll out a firmware update in the future for it to properly support QMK. But I think any of these ordered before June 2021 at least, will come with full QMK support. Anyway, what's in the box? The keyboard, being the barebones kit, keycap puller, switch puller, USB cable. Keycaps and switches are not included, but are required. Indeed, basic assembly will be required. And that's that. So, that's the tour around the box. Let's open it up. Let's see what Glorious is giving us for our $170. Okay, nice presentation. I'm laughing because I'll show you here. When you open the top, you get this ascended. We have ascended by opening this thing. We've got some kind of card here that's probably going to say, "Welcome to the glorious PC family," whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh no? Well, to their credit, it's just a very straightforward, this is where you can find the quick start guide, product support, downloads, warranty details, etc. Right there. A little about us, stuff that they make. Here it is. Welcome to the glorious legion. Prepare to ascend. I knew there'd be some kind of corny marketing on here somewhere. But it does make a nice sound. And it does contribute to what feels like a nice premium product opening experience here, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got this nice, dense foam, which feels very protective, very protective. It's got a cutout here for the board, which sits here. Ah yes, the classic silica gel, throw away, do not eat. Makes nice sounds too. Oh, we get a sticker. Glorious PC Gaming Race sticker. Very shiny. Very colorful. Why not? Why not? And we can see that the board itself is very well protected in here. We have this super thick foam on all sides. That's doing a great job of keeping the board secure and well protected in transit. Let's take out the board. Oh, that is a hefty, hefty case. Oh, that feels good, you guys. This feels very solid and not cheaping out on the thickness of their aluminum here. I can tell you that much. I guess I should have guessed. I mean, they said it's like 3.5 pounds. That's not a light board. Oh, that feels good. All right, we'll take a closer look in a moment, but let's just pull the last few items out of here. Get that dealt with before we start drooling over this hunk of aluminum. Extra gasket strips. Optional. That's interesting. It didn't say anything about these being included. I wonder if this was added after the fact. It says here, due to minor variances that can occur during the machining process of your GMMK Pro, you may need to apply additional gasket strips for peak acoustic quality. For more info and application instructions, visit their quick start site. So these are kind of a squishy material. Soft, dampening material. That's very considerate. That's cool. Don't know if we're going to need them, but that's cool. The black and orange aesthetic continues here, of course. So the stock cable feels very nice. It's a supple yet pliable braided black USB type A to USB type C cable. It looks to be of a pretty decent length, probably, I don't know, a meter and a half, I'm guessing, probably a meter and a half, maybe 4.5 feet. And we've got a hook and loop fastener strap here, but no glorious branding on the housing, just plain black. Now, but we do have a nice fun colored USB tab there on the type A end. And actually on the type C end too. That's fun. Glorious will happily sell you a premium braided coiled cable if you like. And I almost got one just to check it out and show you guys. I think they sell for $50. But I've already got a premium keyboard cable with a LEMO connector and multiple ends for it, and I wasn't going to swap that out for the Glorious one, so but you guys can check that out. They have them in various different colors, so you can try and match the aesthetic of your board. Anyway, but the stock one looks good. Not coiled, of course, but looks decent nonetheless. And then very cheap looking keycap puller. I'm disappointed that Glorious did not spring for the wire style keycap puller. It is in their shade of orange. But yeah, I'm surprised in a package so premium that they didn't opt for a nicer keycap puller, because you don't really want to use these little loopy guys like this if you don't have to. You're liable to scratch your keycaps and they're just annoying to use. And then a very cheap looking switch puller as well. And you know what, this is a little disappointing. Normally I wouldn't care so much because, you know, I've got a million of these in various shapes and forms, including many that are better than these, but this could be the first premium keyboard purchase for many buyers, right? If you're looking to get into the hobby with a premium board, this is a very accessible point of entry, and so you may not have, better quality keycap pullers or switch pullers. And I mean, how much would it have cost Glorious to just include, the wire style ones that are a little more ergonomic and aren't going to damage your caps? Anyway, minor quibble, but a little bit disappointing. But the packaging, like I said, pretty hard to fault. It's just this super dense, nice and thick foam. And I have no doubt that my board is very well protected. right, let's put this aside. And let's take a look at the board itself. So it comes wrapped in the classic soft touch kind of foamy plastic bag here. Oh, that looks nice. That looks very nice. Okay, so let's give it the old 360 here, shall we? So, the first impressions are very positive. It is a lovely hunk of machined, CNC machined aluminum. The finish quality is very high. I'll try and turn this so you can see. It's got this slightly blasted looking finish. So it's not smooth or glossy. I don't know if it's anodized or if it's just sandblasted or what. But it's got a nice sort of matte texture to it. But the quality of the machining looks excellent. I do not see any blemishes anywhere on here. Perhaps the most striking thing picking this up is, as I said, the thickness of this thing is crazy. It is crazy thick. It is really weighty. They've not skimped on the thickness of the aluminum anywhere. I don't see any flaws here. Starting to get a little fingerprinty already, but that's just me. It's just my fingers mucking it up. On the back here, we have a big machined glorious, which is some nice subtle branding. I mean, it's not too bad. It's engraved, but it's not gaudy or anything. It's very big. But then we've got little rubberized feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just a little sticker here with just the basic info, certifications, branding, serial number, these sorts of things. On the back edge here, we've got cutout for our USB Type-C connector. And on the sides, we've got our edge lighting. These are diffuser strips, plastic diffuser strips, that should help the light propagate out from each side and hopefully cast a nice light on the table, on the desktop surface. So you can see those hot-swappable sockets in there with the 5-pin support. Each one has an LED underneath. And you can also see here we've got glorious GMMK Pro stenciled onto the black PCB underneath. I wonder if the white board gets a white PCB. Probably not. And I was expecting this to be maybe a little more gray, but it's pretty black. They call this black slate, I think. So it's like a very, very dark gray, but it's basically black. Like it's quite dark. It's a nice, very close to true black. We've got the GOAT, the greatest of all time stabilizers here. They are transparent, as you can see, and they are pre-lubricated. And, I dare say they actually sound pretty good. You can hear the lube in there, listen. Oops. Yeah, you can definitely hear that they're lubed. And there's very little rattle or wobble. This one's got a little bit of plastic on it, but you can hear a little squishy sounding. Okay, well, oh, and then of course the rotary encoder over here, which comes stock in this just black to match the rest of the board. It's got a smooth, well, matte finish on top to match the case, but then a knurled finish. That's what they call this. Let me see if I can show it to you. This is a little hard to demonstrate actually. Can you see that? No, probably not. The light is difficult here, the lighting. There. They call that a knurled finish. It's textured around the outside. But I actually got a different one. They offer a couple of replacement knobs in different colors, and I got a gold one. So we'll take a look at that after. But it feels, the clicks are pretty subtle, but they're there. It scrolls smoothly. It has a nice sense of weight to it. That seems all right. And then, of course, we've got the screws. We've got 1, 2. Really? Just 2 on the top? It might just be the 2 on the top. There. On the back, we've got quite a few more. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the back there. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I hadn't really... my original plan was to pull this whole thing apart. And I think I might still... Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's pull it apart. Let's take a look at it. I'm sure we'll get it back together without issue. But I wanted to look at the dampening, the gasket mounting that they've got going on in here. I just hope it's not too hard to reassemble. But it shouldn't be, because these are designed to come apart. And actually, I've got to pull it apart because I'm going to be replacing the plate. The stock plate is aluminum, matches the aluminum case, of course. And it feels nice, but I decided to check out some of the other plate options that they offer. Glorious will sell you a polycarbonate plate, which is plastic, which will provide a softer typing experience, a less hard bottom out. And they'll sell you a brass plate, which I also bought, which will provide a much firmer, harder, sharper bottom out, and will also add more weight to the board, as if there's not enough already. So why don't we go through all the other stuff first before we disassemble this thing? I think that's what we'll do. We were just talking about the different plate options, and here's one of them right here. This is the glorious polycarbonate switch plate, which is just, it's plastic. It's a plastic switch plate. This is, I think, $10. I think. 15 maybe. I don't know. It's not a lot anyway. And it shouldn't be. I mean, it's plastic, right? For most people, the stock aluminum switch plate will be just fine. But I just wanted to see what these other plates look like, show them to you guys, test them out at some point maybe. We've got the glorious branding. As I said, they're quite cohesive in their branding here. The Ascension and all that. On the back, we've got some information here. The 3 different switch plates available. Aluminum, which is the default. Medium flex, ideal for all switch types. Brass, which has low flexibility, very firm. They recommend for linear switches. And polycarbonate, they recommend for tactile or clicky switches to help dampen some of that the jarring click or bump, I suppose. But you know what? I'm going to be a mad lad, and I'm pairing my brass plate with some tactile switches. We'll see how it feels. Just want to be able to experiment, you know. The brass plate, which I'll see in a moment, is substantially more expensive because brass as a material is substantially more expensive. While the polycarbonate plate here will run you, yeah, I think 10 or 15. The brass plate runs you $50. 50. Okay, so this comes kind of stuck together here. So we've got some extra screws just in case, I guess, you've lost your screws on your board. And there's our polycarbonate plate. So I presume it's this side forward. Makes sense. And I bet you this helps diffuse RGB backlighting a little better, because this is kind of semi-transparent. So I bet you that works nicely if you have a shine-through keycap set, which I don't. For this board, I have a non-shine-through set, but this would probably pair nicely with their, Aura keycap set, which is just what they call their pudding caps. Anyway, it's got quite a bit of flexibility, quite a bit of flex. It's just nice, soft, flexible plate for a more dampened typing experience. Cool. Okay, well, like I said, I don't think we'll be putting that on today, but I think I did this wrong. It's supposed to be like this. There we go. But I just wanted to check it out, and I have it for the future, should I want it. So that's neat. And now we'll take a look at the brass plate. This is pretty heavy. This definitely is going to add to the weight of the board. No doubt about that. So, same packaging, just says glorious brass switch plate on here. Only for GMMK Pro, of course, because this layout is, well, I don't want to say it's completely unique. There's probably some other boards out there with the GMMK Pro layout, but all the specific cutouts and such are going to be unique to the GMMK Pro. There it is. So I'm not gonna lie, I partially wanted to do the brass plate for aesthetic reasons, because look at it. Look at it. That's nice. That's pretty. That is lovely. So let's take a closer look at the brass plate. See what we got here. So there is the finished surface, and I'm sure it'll be that side up. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. Just lovely. Look at that burnished, brushed shine. It's got a brushed metal texture to it. And of course it's pretty thick. It's got a little bit of flex, but really not much. definitely will confer a sharper typing experience, which we'll see. I don't know what that's going to be like. We'll see. This side is finished in a more kind of matte texture, but that's not the business side, right? Looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. It makes some nice sounds too. Alright, well, we'll put that aside and we'll keep moving on through the stuff that I've got to show you here. Keep it out because we will be installing that. We've got, so what next? Let's look at the switches, I guess. So, on switch duty, we've got the glorious Panda switches. These are a strong tactile switch that are based off the famous Holy Panda switches. And this is Glorious's take on those switches. I believe they use, now I'm getting my facts confused, but I'm pretty sure they use the original housings, but they have a different switch, or different stem, I should say. It differs slightly from the original. But anyway, there is a whole controversy around Glorious making their version of the Holy Pandas, and originally calling them Holy Pandas, and then having to backpedal and call them Glorious Pandas because they're slightly different from the original toolings, and they tried to copyright the name, or not copyright, trademark, I guess, the name. Anyway, Drop also makes their own Holy Panda variants, which are slightly different yet again than I think original Holy Pandas, but which, as I understand it, were originally a hybrid switch that was made from the housings of Panda. I can't remember. I want to call them trash Panda switches, but I don't think they were. I don't know. I've never made Holy Panda switches myself, but I'll look it up anyway. But those original housings merged or paired with the stems of Drop's Halo switches, like the Halo Trues, I believe. I might have my facts a little mixed up. I should have done my research before I started filming this. But anyway, you can go look up the story. There's a whole rich history to the concept of the Holy Panda switch. But the whole point here is that these are considered by many to be some of the best tactile switches available. Not necessarily the Glorious Pandas, but Holy Pandas as a whole. And people seem to like the Glorious Panda variant just fine. I don't know quite how they stack up to the originals, but they're still a fairly well-reviewed tactile switch, and I've been curious to check them out for a long time. So I got 108 of them, 3 packs of 36 a piece, and they come in at gosh, less than $1 a switch, but more than 50 cents a switch. I don't remember exactly, but I think all 3 packs, so 108 of them, cost around $80, maybe, or 75, something like that. Anyway, I like the branding. We've got our shiny, angry-looking Panda, Glorious Panda switches, premium mechanical keyboard switches. It says here, most tactile switch ever created. Yeah, so they're strong tactile. I think the claim of the most tactile ever is probably demonstrably false, but nonetheless. It says here, maybe they give us some information here. Forged from the original molds of the most legendary switch in mechanical keyboard history, the Glorious Panda is the smoothest and most tactile switch ever created. GB is not just a switch, it's the key to unlocking a transcendent typing experience unlike anything your fingers have ever enjoyed. Engineered with the most premium materials sourced from around the world, this switch features buttery smooth operation, perfectly tactile response, and a sweet-sounding thok like a song from the heavens. This is the Mona Lisa of keyboard switches. Prepare to ascend. Wow, they have no lack of confidence. Whoever the copywriter for their like product descriptions is probably deserves a raise. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. Like, they're good. They're not that good, I don't think. But then again, I've not tried them, so we're gonna find out. That's the idea here. I really want to compare them to my Gazoo Boba U4T switches, which I bought a while back, which I've been loving. They are advertised also as a relatively strong tactile and thocky switch, which is a nice deep thock bottom out. So similar in many respects to the glorious Pandas. So curious to see how these things are. Let's just open up one box and take a look at them instead of just talking about them. Let's actually see them. Again, very consistent branding. Oh, and a nice sounding box. Well done, Glorious, on the very nice sounding box. Okay, so here they are. Oh, we've got another one of these quick start thingies, and okay, this sticker is maybe one of the better ones that I've ever received with a keyboard product. There's an angry looking panda. Is he glorious? Maybe. That's fun. Okay. And the switches come in a plastic bag like so. Here they are. Interesting. Okay, well, let's depress it and see how it feels. It's a pretty strong tactile bump. There is very little pre-travel. And they're pretty smooth. There's a bit of stem wobble. You can see it there. Both north-south, so that's top to bottom, and east-west, that's side to side. It says on there, glorious, I believe, does it? I gotta look myself. Yes, glorious. I will say the bottom out is not as thocky as the Boba U4Ts. It's nice, but it's not quite got the same depth. You can hear a bit of a spring ping. And a very sharp rebound noise. Interesting. It's got a little slot, of course, for LEDs to shine through. It's a little lighter than I expected. They're very light switches, actually. And of course, it's a 3-pin design, so it's widely compatible. Unless you want to PCB mount your switch. These glorious Pandas come unlubed, so no lubrication in there from the factory. I did actually, I just want to show you here, pick up some G-Lube, which is Glorious's lubricant. And I think it's $10 for 10 mils. It's not outrageous, but still more expensive than the generic stuff I get from the hardware store that I tend to use on my stabilizers. But this is good for stabilizers, for switches, for pretty much whatever you want to use it on. And I was curious, so I'm not going to be lubing these switches in this video because that takes a long time. It's a lot of work to lube switches, just finicky to open every one, lube it, put it back together for 83 switches. Maybe I'll make a video doing that some other time. But there's that ping. You can hear that spring ping. That's what I was talking about earlier. But it's not bad. It's not a very quiet switch though. Like, this is going to be pretty loud. Oops. The actuation force here, 67 grams, so it's a heavier switch, on the heavier side. It does have a nice tactile feel though. It is nice. And actually, Glorious just announced that they will be selling these pre-lubed for a price. If you want to pay extra to get them factory lubed, you can. They'll give you the option. Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. Those are what we will be putting into our board, and yeah, at some point down the road, maybe I'll try lubing them with this G-Lube. You guys let me know down in the comments if that's something you would like to see. Just, it would be a very boring video, very long, boring video. But, you know, this is ASMR after all, so. Okay. Put those aside for now. And quickly I'll show you. This is the Glorious Rotary knob. This is the gold colored knob, which I think will go really nicely with the brass plate and those kind of golden colored stems on those switches. I think that'll all look nice together. Let's, oh my gosh, I gotta get this open. This is like weirdly hard to open. There. So yeah, they'll sell you these. They're $10 a piece, which is probably too much for like a little knob. But this is being very stubborn. Let's get this out of here. Come on. Okay, well, just ripping the box to get it out. Holy crap! Not even. Okay, we're gonna open up this end and push it through. Maybe. It's really jammed in here. There. Okay. There is our golden knob. Comes well protected. It's not going to get damaged in shipping. It's literally just a hunk of metal, so well, it's plastic on the inside, I guess. But there's that knurling that I was talking about. Basically, it looks like a guitar knob, doesn't it? And you know why that is? Because they are. They're built to guitar knob specifications. And if you want to put a custom knob on there, just go search for guitar knobs, because they will fit on this board, evidently, on the rotary encoder. The colors are a little different than the brass plate. It's like slightly less saturated, but only slightly. It's not quite as warm, but it's pretty close. Besides, you can't really see the plate under the keycaps, barely anyway. Why did I pay $50 for it then? Because I have a problem. Because I have a problem, you guys. I suspect you understand what I'm talking about, though. And then finally, keycaps. As I mentioned earlier, the GMMK Pro has kind of a weird layout, so larger sets will probably cover it, but if you want to be really sure that you've got good coverage for your board, this is the way to go. Just pay Glorious some more money, and they'll hook you right up. These are $50 as well, but they look to be of high quality. They are, I think, dye sub PBT, hopefully nice and thick. We'll find out. I do love the colorway on this. They call it Rain Forest. Rain Forest. And it's this lovely gradient of greens, sort of cool greens, which is one of my favorite kind of aesthetics. So I think that'll look really nice with the gold accents on the black case. So 114 of them. Okay, so actually they give you a lot. They give you a full. So you could put this on a standard layout keyboard, a full 108 key layout if you wanted. They've also got all these extras down here so that it fits the GMMK Pro properly. Made of PBT, which is a plastic material that's I don't want to say favored by enthusiasts, but I think it's my preference anyway. You see a lot of high quality ABS keycap sets these days too, but PBT has a really nice acoustic character and a really nice feel under the fingers, and unlike ABS, it doesn't get shiny with use and exposure to finger oils. So non-transparent, so there's no shine through on these. Fits most keyboards and compatible with the GMMK Pro. Yeah, it says here dye sublimation legends, which means that they're dyed right into the plastic. They will never wear off. They're not like a thing that sits on top. They're literally dyed into the plastic. I wish that they would tell us what the thickness of these caps is. They don't appear to say that anywhere, but says here, the glorious GPBT keycap set is truly made to last. Every individual piece is made from premium high-end PBT plastic with dye sublimation legends. These keycaps will give you an upgraded gaming experience, as every keystroke will give you a premium feel. The keycap set also does not allow any RGB light from your keyboard to shine through, creating a unique glow around the keys and glorifying your battle station. It's a nice way to try and put a positive spin on not having shine through. It's true though, it's a different aesthetic. Countless hours of gaming, they'll last forever, blah blah blah. Okay, so no real information there, just marketing copy. Well, let's see how they are. I need to get a pair of digital calipers, you guys, so that I can measure the thicknesses of keycaps and such myself. I think I'll invest in that. Oops. Okay. We're just going full. Okay, so they come stacked up like this here. We've got another glorious card. And oh, get to add to our sticker collection. Check it out, you guys. Ascend. Oh man, you can't help but laugh at it. They're so cheesy, but they're kind of fun. I kind of get it. I promise I'm not just a stick in the mud. Okay, so we've got a bunch of different caps on here. Oh, and a keycap puller as well, of the cheap variety. Let's just pull out one of these and just take a look at the thickness. They make nice sounds, don't they? pull out one of the alphas here. Okay. It's funny. Did they even say what profile these are in? I don't think it says anywhere on here what profile these are. That is bizarre. But they look to be cherry profile, which is like OEM, which is what you might be used to. That's sort of a very typical profile, but it's a little shorter. So actually these keys are pretty short. I would suspect these look like they must be cherry profile. So they're stepped. They'll be taller at the top, but yeah, they're shorter than OEM. They look nice and thick. It's probably 2 millimeters or so. I don't think we're going to feel any flex on these. They have a nice matte finish that's somewhere between, sort of a textured and a smooth, like they maybe err on the slightly smoother side. Not nearly as roughly textured as, say, the drop keycaps. Let's just pick something off the top row here so we can see if there's any flex at all. But I doubt there is. This is a little bit of a nightmare if you ever want to put these back in. There's a very specific way that they're designed to go in. Good luck ever getting them back in exactly right. So this storage method is maybe not the most useful long term. Truth be told, I usually just end up throwing all my keycap sets into sandwich bags anyway. It's all in a big jumble. But you can buy cases. Keep it quieter, and in doing so I'm making it louder, I think. Okay, this backspace, if anything's going to flex, it's going to be this. It's a taller key, it's a longer key. We would see some flex, and there's nothing. There's nothing. These are very firm, thick keycaps. The legends seem to be nice. They look consistent. They look well centered. The font isn't too gamery. The quality of the printing looks good. These look really nice. So, props to Glorious for some really nice looking caps. All right. Well, I think we've seen everything now. We've seen all the bits and pieces. And they certainly do look lovely, don't they? I am very excited to get this stuff installed and see how this thing feels. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna find typing on the brass plate. I might not like it. I might find it to be too firm. But you know what, I wanted to know. And certainly it's going to look glorious, isn't it? And that is where we're going to have to end things for now. I am really anxious to put together this board to test out those glorious Panda switches, to hear what the different plates sound like and to see the finished product. But I'm going to have to exercise some restraint. And we're going to do that in a follow-up video, which will follow in probably about a week's time. You'll get to see me build the whole thing and then get to hear and see the board in action with some typing tests. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. And if you are, please make sure that you're subscribed and that you've clicked that bell icon so that you'll get notified when that video comes out. Thank you so much for watching today, and a big thank you, of course, to this video's sponsor. These guys right here, EWin Racing. They have the gaming chairs. If you like the look of this Champion Series gaming chair from EWin Racing and you're interested in checking it out for yourself, please click through on that link down at the top of the video description. I'll also pin it in the top comment there to make it easy for you. And if you use my affiliate link and the offer code, the ASMR Nerd, on their website, you will get 20% off your EWin gaming chair purchase, which is pretty substantial when you're talking about an item like a chair. So please do go check it out. And if you're interested, take advantage of that offer. It saves you some money, and a portion of your purchase comes back to support me and the channel, which of course I appreciate very, very much. All right. Thank you again for watching. I hope you found this interesting. And as always, I hope you found it relaxing. And I look forward to having you back here next time. Bye for now, my friends.